welcome to Pixie Dust Kitchen and Forecast. It's a rainy day here in Miami, and today we're going to be making a blueberry cake. So we're going to start off with 2 cups of flour, almond flour. So that's 1 cup of almond flour, and now for the next one, we're going to do our dry ingredients first. Okay, so we're going to make sure that our almond flour doesn't have any lumps before we go ahead and add the rest of our dry ingredients, which is salt and baking powder. After we do that, we're going to start with our wet ingredients. Okay, so we're going to add 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, which is already measured. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. That's 1 teaspoon of baking powder. We're going to go ahead and mix the baking powder, the flour, and the salt. Make sure that we don't have any lumps. And then we're going to continue with our wet ingredients. Okay, so now that we made sure that we don't have any more lumps, we're going to go ahead and add 1/2 cup of unsweet applesauce. We're going to go ahead and add 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to go ahead and add 1/3 cup of honey. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and mix that. You're going to get a lumpy kind of consistency, but you have to mix until the dough is already well mixed and not lumpy. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and we're also going to add 1 teaspoon of almond extract. So 1 teaspoon of almond extract, and then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And now we're just going to keep mixing this until we have the right consistency, which I'm going to show you now how it is. And then the last thing we're going to do is fold in our blueberries before we go ahead and put it in our bunny baking pan. And we're going to put this in the air fryer for 20 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit. Okay, so as you guys can see, we've already mixed in all our ingredients, and we have a similar consistency to cookie dough. Okay, it's meant to be like that because we're using a gluten-free flour, which is almond flour, and we didn't use any eggs. We used applesauce to replace that, and then we used oil instead of butter. So now we're gonna go ahead and add 1/2 cup of frozen blueberries. You can also use 1/2 cup of fresh blueberries, however you like. I'm using frozen. And we're gonna lightly mix in the blueberries into our dough. Then we're gonna put this in our baking pan, and we're gonna put this at 350 between 15 and 20 minutes. Since we're doing it in the air fryer, the time varies a little bit, and you can use between 320 Fahrenheit and 350, but you have to check the time, and again, it all depends on the type of air fryer. Okay, so now that we have our blueberries folded into our dough, we're gonna slowly grab a little bit of the mix, and we're gonna start putting it into our baking bowl. We're gonna press it down with our silicone spatula. And now we're gonna put this into the air fryer. We have already greased our baking pan. this is how it should end up. Now we're gonna go ahead and add the time here to our air fryer. 15 minutes at 350. So 15 minutes. There we go. So our blueberry cake is finally done. Look how it came out. And now we're gonna cut it into pieces and finally try it. Okay, so our blueberry cake is finally done. Now we're gonna go ahead and try it and see how it came out. This is the most amazing blueberry cake that I've ever tried. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.